Hello and welcome back to Nations Cup round 17. 17, isn't it? Yeah, 17. We are Oceania top split. My name's Matthew and we are starting third, I was going to say pole, third today. Got an okay draft early on in qualifying and picked up a third place and stayed there for the rest of it. A couple of people improved, but I didn't really change from third from about the 7-minute mark, which was quite nice. I knew I wanted to be up the front somewhere, but starting position was kind of irrelevant, and I knew it was always going to be, to a degree. So, GTP legend, who, there he goes, in 5th actually now, he got the pole position. He got a massive draft on the last lap with a, is it a 44.5? Might have been a 45.5. Yeah, insane time. Just really lucky with the draft, obviously, but did a good job. Nailed it when he could, and took pole. Who GTP legend is a fellow Ferrari driver for Manufacturers Cup in Oceania. Followed by Rangerous, or Ranger Oz. Don't know how to pronounce that one. Rangerous. Sounds like dangerous, which sounds cooler. So Rangerous it is. He picked up 2nd place. He's been doing very well in manufacturers for Alpha Romeo, and it was good to see him up there and picking up 2nd. So myself 3rd, and I think Holland got 4th. But as you can see, after a lap, was it a lap or 2 laps? Back down in 10th. I knew early on it was going to be a no-stopper. It was all going to be about, well, not making a mistake and saving fuel. Fuel map 3 was the only way to go to get 19 laps out of the car. So early on I jumped to fuel map 3 and I watched about half the field go past me. And I just figured they were on a higher fuel map. I got a little bit unlucky being out of position in some cases and missing some draft or falling back a little. I wasn't too worried. I thought it would come back to me, and you know, that first corner in the practice mode, that first corner not a problem at all, but with fuel in it, if you put too much steering lock on the car, then the rear end likes to step out, and it's very easy to wiggle and very easy to pitch it into the wall. And hitting the wall, you're going to, at best, you're going to gain 1.5 second penalty. At worst, you're probably going to hit the inside wall as well, damage your car, lose 20 seconds in the process of recovering and getting back up to speed. So really it was just a case of going round and round in circles, avoiding the wall and saving fuel, and just picking up draft when I can and being smart about it. I tried to be too smart about it and save more fuel than I needed. When I was trying to get in somebody's draft and then sit on fuel map 5 or 6, so at the end of the race I could run on fuel map 1 or 2. But I managed to... I just didn't manage it. I tried to the few times we went into fuel map 5 or 6. I got bad runs off turn 1. I fell out of the draft a little. And it ultimately cost me the race, I believe. There was a few times I got back into the sort of the leading pack. Just sat at the back of it, but one minor error and I was off it again, and I was playing catch up and I never quite caught up. Just to spoil the end so you don't have to watch the rest of the video. But we'll jump forward a bit, we'll pick up some action a bit later on in the race. Well, it turns out I talked too long for that first part, so we're only actually a further lap ahead. We're at lap 7 now, and I've caught up with the pack that was going to go to the end really. Going to take the flag at the sharp end of the field. So we got, let's just jump on board. We got Schnick, Ranger, GTP Legend, and St. Nickel 2nd place, and Holland up ahead, all on his own. He's pushed like mad early on, and the speed he was going and how much time he'd gained, I think he was about 9 seconds. 9 seconds was his highest point where he was leading. If you look at his fuel now, he's just in the halfway on lap 8, so he's still less than halfway to go. More than halfway to go. Where am I? there, so that's quite a difference in fuel. When I was running on fuel map 3 at this stage, I actually might have been trying fuel map 5 or 6 at this stage, just on the back of those guys. So Holland tried to blast away at the start, which he did, and he got a lead, but then he had to really save the fuel to make it to the end, and that ended up costing him quite dearly. St. Nicol also did a similar thing, but Ranger, Legend and Schnick and myself are all saving fuel. What do we got? Oh, see, they're even worse than me too. Ranger just over half. Legend about the same as Ranger. St. Nicol, he was on about the same as Holland, as you see. But you can see I made a mistake, probably back at turn 1. Last lap round would have been. Yeah, right at the end. I dropped a lot of pace, jumped back into 5th. I was still in fuel mode 5th or 6th, 5 or 6, and it was enough that they could pull away, obviously drafting each other, and it pulled themselves out of draft range for me, so it really cost me. And that's probably the point in the race that I'd lost the race. Not keeping pace with that group of cars ended up costing me. But we'll jump a bit further ahead into the race. I end up catching them a little bit again, but we'll jump forward to that. So this was a interesting development that happened just after the halfway point, about lap 11. We've got Art Lane, who I believe fell off the track early and has been lapped, just running full blast. So Mankini, who was a couple of seconds behind me, because he's had the advantage of Art's draft. Sorry, that's Mr. Mankini, not just Mankini. Because he had the advantage of Art's draft, he actually caught us pretty quick. And this changed things up because Art could run through everybody, not affect anybody's racing line, but provide everybody with a draft. And if I was a bit smarter, I would have latched onto that and gone with them. So this really changed the race quite dramatically. I guess my problem was I got stuck behind Mr. Mankini, and Art managed to get away, Lane managed to get away and get up to the next lot of drivers. Just check the laps. Yeah, lap 12. So once again I made an error of not sticking with Lane, who had all the advantages, and I basically just had an invisible draft buddy. So I should have really realised that and stuck with him. But it also shows how kind of broken it is in that regard. That somebody like that can affect the outcome of this race this much. Like, I'm all for ghosting lapped cars. Yeah, that's why. Got a bit crossed up, lost a bit of time. I'm all for ghosting lapped cars, but they probably shouldn't provide a draft at the same time. So, you know, either have it all or not have it all. But yeah, you see Mankini ahead has dropped back, has lost about a second to Ranger, so he's just outside the draft. I'm only just in Mankini's draft, but the other two up ahead, if we jump up to them, they're getting a draft off this Ghost, so they're able to pull away quite nicely, and there's nothing I can do about it to chase them down. Because even though, what have I got? I've got more fuel at this stage, running fuel map 3, which I run all the way to the end of the race. Apart from the last lap, I run fuel map 2. So in theory, I should be able to travel faster than the guys ahead. But I can't, because this Ghost drags them along quite nicely, in fact. And it's probably what saved Ranger, because my car only just made it on fuel. probably say Ranger and Legend to go a bit longer because they're able to, you know, turn up the or turn down the fuel mix and sit in a draft, which nobody had access to. But as well, nobody else could because nobody else had Ghost of driving in front of them. I'm not, you know, I'm complaining about a feature of the game. It's fine what these drivers did. They took advantage of the opportunity, and I would have too had that come up. But you see Holland now falling back. He's run out of gas and is having to run on fuel mixture 5 or 6. So heading into the last 2 laps, just do a quick rundown. We've got Holland on not a lot left, Mankini with a bit more, Schnick with more than him, myself, Ranger and Legend. Legend looks dangerously low. So yeah, Legend was looking good. He was about a second and a half ahead of Ranger at this stage. Although getting closer from my view, when I was watching from back here, it looked like Legend had about a second, and I didn't think Ranger was going to catch him. I thought Legend was a shoo-in for the win. Except he catches him right through there, didn't he? Looks like Legend is on fuel map 6. In fact, he's out of fuel, isn't he? And there it goes. So Legend runs out of fuel, 2 corners from the end, which is a real shame because he was looking strong all race long. I end up going past. Ranger wins. I come home second, about 2 seconds behind. Ranger did it in 15 minutes flat, and I did a 15:02 for total race time. So Ranger first, me second, Schnick picks up third, Mr. Mankini fourth. Legend is still trottling home just ahead of, it looks like Hollow, he's also run out of fuel. Oh, they lose on the line. Prosim gets 5th. I think he started 19th. There's a massive run from him. Bradley, Iron Mask and Legend Hollow round out the top 10. So yeah, fun race overall. It was very clean throughout. I was quite afraid of incidents happening through the first corner and getting caught up in them, or running wide and tapping the wall, or going side by side with somebody and tapping them, and then they tap the wall, gifting myself or somebody a penalty like that. But everybody in the top split kept it, well, at least what I saw. I guess I didn't see from 12th backwards. But up the front and the packs that I ran in during the race, it was pretty clean and it was a lot of fun. And it was just running out the strategy and running wheel to wheel and using the draft to the best of your ability. And Rangerous obviously did the best, bringing it home in first, so well done to him. But that's it from me. We will see you again Saturday for the Nations Cup top 16 superstars, and that was at Group 1 at Tokyo Outer Loop East, which is going to be absolutely nuts, and I'm not sure what car I'm going with yet because there seems to be a few good ones. But till then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.